はい。Could you tell us how the Taiwan began such a movement?
Taiwan, yes.
First time, yes.
Yes. In Taiwan, there has been the notion of initiative referendum in the constitution from all times, from the nationalist Chinese constitution, but there has never been a law for it before 2003, and it needed the Democratic Party to get some influence. First time they got the presidency in the year 2000, to understand that such a legislation is needed. But when the first legislation was created, it was very bad. It was not inviting the people, it was basically prohibiting the people to use it. So the civil society, which is very strong in Taiwan, they focus together, not just on issues they are interested in, but together on the issue of democracy. And I think that was very, very important.
台湾は台湾の憲法には、昔から国民投票という制度が謳われているんですけれども、法律はなかった。それで2003年にやっと国民投票についての法律ができたんですけれども、国民投票を推進するよりもね、それを制止するようなとにかく悪い法律だったんですね。一応作ったんですけれども、使ってほしくないようなものだったんです。で、それで市民はこれじゃダメだと。で、で立ち上がってだんだんよくしてきましたんだということです。
Because classically in indirect democracy, it's that there are many different organizations who try to lobby the government, the parties on different issues, but they reflect very little about the democracy as such. And you can say what you need in order to make such a legislation possible, you need key allies in the government or in the parliament, and you need a civil society who really together works for more democracy. The big challenge is, of course, in our societies that you would like to have these rights for yourself, but you wouldn't like to have it for your opponent.
とにかく自分の訴えを国会に持ってきて訴えてくれる代表も必要ですけれどもね、こういう市民運動でね、例えばこの国民投票の権利をね、自分たちも欲しいんですけれども、自分に賛成じゃない人たちには与えたくない。それは特徴の一つですね。
So you need to have a deeper understanding, in fact, of being both maybe in government and in opposition, and understand why it is important for everybody to have these freedoms in order to be able to exercise this even if you are in government. And this happened now in Taiwan, because 2016 the Democratic Party for the first time could win the presidency and the parliament, and they did not degenerate so quickly into the government opposition role. They still remembered what they wanted when they were in opposition.
で、実際に台湾でやっと2016年に民主党が議会で大多数を取ったし、大統領も民主党の代表そうなったんですね。で、民主党は政権を取っても忘れなかったんですね。要するに野党だった時代の気持ちで、それを尊重して政権を取っても野党の言うことを聞くようにしているということですね。それが民主主義にとってとても大事ですね。政権を取ったら知らん顔するんじゃなくて、みんなの意見を聞くということですね。
I have myself experienced with many green parties in Europe that we are very much in favor of direct democracy as long as we are not in government. And as soon as the Green Party comes in government, it happens that the same political leaders which before had said more direct democracy says, no, 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 we are now in government, we don't need that anymore.
ヨーロッパでもどの国にも緑の党があってでそれがどんどん政権に参加しているんですけれども野党だった時に直接民主主義には大賛成ところが政府に入ったらいやいやいやもういいんだ直接民主主義なんて面倒くさくて大変だ
So when I was elected into government in my city, my colleagues said to me, now you can stop with this democracy thing, now we are ruling.
私もそういうふうに言われたその市議会に入ったらね仲間に言われたもう直接民主主義どうのこうのとかもうやめていいんじゃないですかもう政権取ったんだから
But I said, no, now it starts.
で私は答えたいやむしろこれからだぞって
はい、先ほど民主主義の、ね、教育が大事だって話だったんですけどもやっぱこう日本では本当にそれ非常に私も感じてるんですけど民主主義の教育っていうのは例えばこの学校の教育では、スイスでもいいんですけどスウェーデンでもいいんですけどやっぱこうどういうふうな形で行われてるのかねなんかこう特別な時間をとってこうなんか通年通してやってるのか、社会の中で一回やってるのかちょっとその教育について詳しく。
Earlier you said your first point about spreading democracy is education is really vital. So for example so he was asking about school education. How is democracy taught at the school level in either Switzerland or Sweden? Could you
Yes, I mean that's a big challenge because education in school normally tries to avoid politics. We have a history in Switzerland and Sweden in the Cold War time between 45 and 89. There was a big fear from the leaders about communist parties, about communist rules. So being in a way said to be a communist was a very bad thing. And especially teachers were very afraid of that. So they would avoid all political discussions. And this created a very unpolitical civic education. A little bit information about the country, a little bit education about elections, but not about political issues or democracy. And this is still today a problem, which I feel are weak points of the democracy education in Switzerland and in Sweden. And the consequence out of it is that we have a very aged political elite. If you look at my local parliament here, it's about average age in the council is 60 years. And almost no young people really are encouraged and dare to really run for office. It's a discussion also, of course, that we are now proposing and discussing in Sweden and Switzerland to introduce voting age 16. Why? Because in this age, most young people still live at home and are going to school. So by introducing real voting rights with 16, I think, and we feel very much, and Green parties around Europe are promoting this, to make real participation more attractive. And we have, for instance, managed to lower the voting age on the European level for the European Citizen Initiative to 16 years. So we have done something which goes into that direction, but we need to do much more. And this democracy passport is just a little element, and we need to become much more committed to democracy education in our schools.
いや、実は痛いところをついたんですね。特にヨーロッパでは第二次世界戦争後、冷戦が始まって、でそれで特に共産主義者に対する恐怖感から、とにかく学校で政治を話題に上げるのは非常に難しかった。先生たちも政治の話をしたら共産主義者として見られるんじゃないかと。だから政治は学校ではノータッチだった。で今もそういうのはある程度続いているんですね。ご覧のようにさっき自分の町の議会が出ていたんですけれど、みんな平均60歳ぐらいですね。若者はあまり政治に参加してない。これは大問題だ。でまあ建設的な動きとしてスウェーデンでも投票権を16歳まで下げようと思っています。そういう運動、緑の党でそういう運動をしている。でヨーロッパでもEU 全体としてね、16歳まで下げるという動きも行われているんですけれど、まあ教育のレベルで政治の話するのは今も難しいんだと。
So we also plan now to create this global network of democracy cities, and in this network we want to establish a charter of what makes a city a democracy city. And in this charter we want to define how a city needs to invest into democratic education for all citizens, but especially of course for young people, so that they start to be active citizens from the very beginning.
でも学校教育でも政治の話をするのはとても大事で、さっき言った世界的な横の連携で、例えばその民主主義教育についてチャーターというか、まあ、憲法のようなもの、要するにこれをやりましょうよと民主主義を広めるのに、でそれを加わっている自治体でこれを学校でも実行しようじゃないかという、またこういうパスポートみたいなものを作ってそれを使って広めようと思っています。
And one of the maybe most interesting examples in this part of the world is the city of Seoul in Korea, where under the leadership of Mayor Park, they have changed the whole idea of the city from being a city governed by a few to be a city of the many. Their city hall is not called anymore City Hall, it's called Citizens Hall. And the first 2 floors of the Citizen Hall is all for the citizens and support of the citizens. So I think it's a very powerful, interesting example what you can do when you have a good and promoting local government for democracy.
今非常にいい例は韓国のソウル、そのソウルの市長はとにかく民主主義をどんどん推し進めている。でソウルのなんていう政府は市民のものだと。で盗聴というかな、その最初の2回は完全にもう市民に解放したんですって。でとにかくすぐ近くですからソウルそれ学べばいいんじゃないかということです。とてもいい例ができています。
いいよさ。OK。じゃあ、はい、どうぞ。
2つあるんですけど、1つ目が40年以上前なんですけど、学校でスイスの軍隊はなくて、でなんかみんな各家庭が銃を持っていて、で大きな道路はこう 敵が入ってくるとバリケードみたいな壁が出るシステムになってるんだなんていう話を聞かされた記憶があるんですけど、それは嘘かもしれないんですけど、で今このチラシに軍隊のことを触れてあったので、昔はどんな感じで今現在はどうなってるのかっていうのをちょっと教えていただけたらっていうのが一つ目。
She says that she's got two questions, but the first is about the Swiss army. She 40 years ago, but she was told at school that Switzerland didn't have an army, but that everyone had a gun, a rifle, in their homes, and that if the enemy ever crossed the border and tried to take over, barricades would automatically appear on every street, and they wouldn't be able to get far. Well, she says that she doesn't know whether that was true or false, but what's the situation now?
Yeah, I mean, that's this myth about Switzerland, as the government said. We have no army, we are an army. And the idea that every citizen in a way is a soldier by definition, it's a little bit the same conversation you have today in the United States about the Second Amendment. The freedom to bear arms is like, I mean, 200 years ago this maybe made sense. And in Switzerland also at some point democratic rights and military conscription was very much close to each other. It was a time when women had no voting rights. My mother, when I was born, she hadn't a voting right because Switzerland only introduced female universal suffrage in 1971 after 3 referendums by the male. And it's always like that when you have those already in power asking those, do you want to share the power with somebody else? They say, no, it's not necessary, you know, we do that job very well. That's the same when you ask Parliament if they want to let the people have a say. And if you let the over 20 or 18-year-old to ask, do you want to let the 16-year-olds have it? So the Swiss army thing was very much, you know, based on this idea that Switzerland was the only country not involved in Second World War in the middle of Europe. But of course the main reasons were not the army. It was Switzerland was useful to both Hitler and other countries as an infrastructure for transport, for banking, all these kind of things. The army would have been overcome very easily by these strong armies. So, but it was a good myth for the, let's say, the leading politicians after the Second World War, which were extremely conservative. And in a way, based on the fears from the communists and based on the fears of the past and the lacking discussion about the past, they managed to keep that on until our vote in 1989, which was just 2 weeks after the Berlin Wall fall. So it was like the Berlin Wall was not there in Switzerland, but in the mind and the mentality it was there. And our initiative of the abolishment of the army liberated Switzerland in many ways.
たくさんまあ短く言うとこれは神話だったんですね。スイスがね、他の国に侵入、例えば第二次世界戦争中に侵入されなかったのは中立国として非常に都合のいい存在だったんですね。ドイツにとってもイタリアにとってもね、これでお金、例えば銀行とかお金の流れとかで、実際にスイスは例えばドイツとかオーストラリアとか侵入しようと思ったらいとも簡単に入ることができたんだろう。でもまあそういう神話は戦後でもね、スイスの政権は非常に保守的だったんで、その神話もその政権にとって非常に都合が良かったんですね。やっぱりソ連が敵になって冷戦が続いた時にね、やっぱり我々はこういう軍隊を持たなければいけない、みんなで国を守らなければいけないというような話で、それがずっと80年代直接民主主義でその軍隊 自身の、存在についてを問題にした時までずっと続いていました。でこれはその時その時の政権にとって非常に都合のいい話であって、だからやっと問題にできたのは、まあ、かなり大変だったんですけれどもね。ごめん、そのぐらいしか覚えてない。
具体的なそのさっきの問題に対してもう一回聞きます。
今現在はどんな感じ？
Yeah, I heard that the budget of the army will be half before that.
No, we had when we had our vote, we had 600,000 soldiers. Now we have 70,000.
でその問題にしてから問題にする前には60万人の軍隊だった。でその国民発議、市民発議が議論された後、今はスイス軍は7万人だって。
10%?
And you know the defense minister, years later, the defense minister at the time of the vote, he thanked me for doing this initiative because it made a lot of reforms possible.
で、まあとにかく問題にしたことに対して防衛大臣自身はブルーノさんにお礼を言ったんです。やっと議論ができるようになったと。
もう一つ大事なことを言われたと思うんですが、女性農産政権、1971年ですね、非常に遅くて、保守的な国でということを盛んに、どうしてそんなに遅かったのかなっていうのはずっと思っていましたが。
She was asking about women's voting rights. Why did it take so long? But she's probably, as you said, even after the war, the Swiss government was very conservative.
No, I mean, as I explained, as in Switzerland, there was never a revolution, there was no war, there was no big crash. This led to the fact that those in power, which were the men, they had to vote about extending the voting right to the female. And there are not many other countries where you had a men's referendum about female voting right. Normally, these kind of reforms happened after a revolution, a war, or introduction of democracy, but very seldom that those in power had to decide. And again, this is the big problem or the challenge of our democracies today. If we don't look for a revolution, which normally doesn't help so much and create a lot of violence, we need to go through the existing procedures. And this creates a momentum that those in power have to understand that they don't lose everything when they share power. They maybe win something, they win a better society and a better democracy. And this is a very sensitive and very difficult thing, because it's a step-by-step procedure, and it is based on a lot of dialogue, convincing, and knowledge.
まあ、さっき話したように、スイスは戦争もしていないし、革命が起こったわけでもない。で要するに、男ばっかりの政権が、要するに女性に投票権を与えるかについて議論しなければならない。それ革命が起こったり、戦争が起こったり、外から民主主義が入ったときに、簡単にすぐにできるかもしれないけど、平和的で、市民もね、何もかも中央に任していた、そういう社会の中で、やっぱり女性の投票権はものすごい時間がかかったわけですね。だからそういうふうにそれまで時間がかかったんですね。でやっぱりそういう国の中で政権にね変化によって得するのは例えば女性に投票権を与えることによって自分は打撃を受けるんじゃなくて、これによって社会が全体に良くなるということ前提でまあ説得しなければいけないんです。 で説得するのに時間がかかるんです。
And you know, the simplistic arguments against more democracy, they are always more easy to transport in a limited public space than the more comprehensive and good arguments, which means, for instance, in Germany, 80% of the people, according to all opinion polls, for many years have promoted and have supported the introduction of direct democracy on the national level. Still, Germany doesn't have it because there are always some arguments like, you know, when we have direct democracy, we will get the death penalty back, we will get the fascists back. All these kind of simplistic arguments are thrown against. And even if you have a big majority in favor, when it comes to concrete implementation, there's always a little idea, maybe it could be dangerous, maybe it could be, we don't know what happens, and that creates this politics of mistrust. Always politicians try to say, we cannot trust our others, we cannot trust the other party, so let's keep what we have.
ドイツでも直接民主主義世論調査を取ったら国民の8割以上は賛成ですけれども、じゃあ直接民主主義制度はドイツでできたかというとできてないんですね。いつも政治家が最後に水を差すんですね。いや、これ直接民主主義を導入したら右翼が政権取るかもしれないとか、とにかく何か大変なことになるんだと恐怖の煽ったりするんですね。で結局なってないんですね。
It's much more easy to find out what we don't want than to agree what we want.
欲しくないものを見つけるのは簡単です。みんなで欲しいものを実現するのは実に難しいです。
他の方でありますか。それと岩崎さん、もう一つあったんだね。はいはい。
2つ国籍があるっておっしゃるんですけど、スウェーデンでもスイスでも、投票権もなんか立候補する権利も両方あるんです。
You have two nationalities, Swiss and Swedish.
Even more, because in Switzerland I have two state nationalities. In Switzerland, nationality is not given by the federal state, but by the regional state. So every canton has its own law for nationality.
実は私2つじゃなくて3つ持っている。というのはスイスは連邦ですね。で国籍を与えるのは国じゃなくて州ですって。で私は2つの州の国籍を持っている。だから3つあるんです。
So I have voting rights in 9 places.
And also right to stand in an election?
Yes.
だから実は全部地方と国レベルで合わせれば僕は9カ所で投票権がある。で選挙権もあって非選挙権もあるんです。それで質問に答えたんでしょうか。
皆さん多分詳しい方ひょっとしたらいるかもしれないんですけども、その二重国籍認めてない国ってすごい実は少ないでしょ。日本を含め、日本ぐらいしかないかもしれないぐらい、その蓮舫の話でギャーギャー騒ぐとかありえないんですよ。普通にでみんな海外で結婚し外国人と結婚した人は国籍持ってること隠してるんですよね。向こうの国籍取ってもそれ日本政府に言えば日本国籍剥奪されちゃうからだから黙ってる。
Japan doesn't recognize you.
Not yet.
すごくバカバカしいこと。
Yeah. No, that's of course a big difference. You can say what happened in Europe in the last 30 years is that, of course, we have a lot of nationalistic movements, but at the same time, through the idea of the European political level, we have understood that national identity and national borders are only one of the identities and only one of the borders. We need to combine these political communities much more, and that creates the necessity that you can, maybe you are born in one place and you move there and then you move back, so you need to keep these national identities. And we have also left the idea that we every time in a generation need to fight each another in a war.
まあヨーロッパではね、国籍も大事ですけれどもね、それより広い意味でみんな行ったり来たりしているし、日本みたいに島国じゃない。だからいろんなアイデンティティがあっていいんじゃないかということです。
はい。
日本では、政府の国民も、イニシアチブ国民発議なんて発想は全然ないんだけれども、どうしてスイスではそのことが始まったんでしょう。そもそも代表民主制じゃなくて直接民主主義に向かったその土台みたいな理由みたいな。
She's asking about how it all started in Switzerland. This what direct